The federal RICO I'm about to drop on Kris and Kim is about to be crazy. It's worse than Diddy.
Come on, this starts when we get to the airport.
For over 2 decades, the saga of Kim Kardashian and Ray J has been a story Hollywood couldn't have written better itself. A toxic cocktail of ambition, betrayal, and a past that simply refuses to die. But the fragile truce that has held for years has finally shattered, and what was once a public feud has now erupted into an all-out legal war. While the headlines scream defamation, the truth behind this explosive lawsuit is rooted in a history so dark and twisted, it threatens to unravel the very foundations of the Kardashian empire. This isn't just about a few false statements. It's about settling a score nearly 20 years in the making. The first shot was fired not in a courtroom, but in a documentary. During his appearance in the TMZ special, United States vs. Sean Combs, Ray J was asked about the federal racketeering investigation into the music mogul. His response was a calculated bombshell aimed directly at his old flames. With a casual tone that belied the gravity of his words, he said, "If you told me the Kardashians was being charged for racketeering, I might believe it." In that single sentence, he linked one of the most famous families in the world to one of the most serious federal crimes imaginable: racketeering, the same charge used to take down mob bosses and criminal enterprises. It was a shocking and deliberate parallel that planted a dangerous seed in the public consciousness. But a seed wasn't enough for Ray J. He needed to set the whole forest on fire. Just a few weeks later, he went live on social media, turning his phone into a weapon. In a rambling, unhinged broadcast to millions, he doubled down on his claims, insisting that a federal RICO investigation against Kim and Kris was not just a possibility, but an impending reality. He declared, "The federal RICO I'm about to drop on Kris and Kim is about to be crazy." He then made a chilling comparison that sent shockwaves across the internet. He claimed their situation was worse than Diddy's, with federal agents raiding Combs' mansions and a storm of horrifying accusations dominating the news. This wasn't just an insult. It was an attempt to paint the Kardashians as master criminals. He warned his followers, "The feds is coming. The rain is coming," promising a storm that would expose them all. For a family that has weathered countless scandals, controversies, and public attacks, this was the final straw. For the first time in their long and public careers, Kim Kardashian and Kris Jenner did the unthinkable. They filed a lawsuit for defamation. Their attorney, the powerhouse lawyer Alex Spiro, made it clear that this was a line that could not be uncrossed. Kris Jenner and Kim Kardashian have never brought a defamation claim before, nor have they been distracted by noise, he stated. But this false and serious allegation left no choice. The message was clear. The gloves were off. The Kardashians, now a billion-dollar global brand, were deploying their immense resources to silence the man who helped launch their fame. This wasn't just a celebrity spat anymore. It was a corporate entity protecting its assets from a hostile threat. The lawsuit itself reads less like a legal document and more like a psychological profile of a man allegedly lost in the past. The filing describes Ray J as being unable to accept the end of his fleeting relationship with Ms. Kardashian over 20 years ago, accusing him of waging a sustained campaign of harassment and defamation. It argues that Ray J has repeatedly sought to attach himself to the Kardashian name, desperately trying to stay relevant by clinging to the shadow of a woman who has long since eclipsed him. The complaint methodically dismantles his claims, stating that he has provided no evidence whatsoever for these explosive accusations and branding them blatantly false and calculated falsehoods. In the eyes of the law, Ray J's words weren't just gossip. They were malicious lies designed to inflict maximum damage. To understand why this feud has reached such a venomous climax, you have to go back to the beginning, to the infamous tape that started it all. For years, the official story was that the 2002 recording was leaked without Kim's consent, a devastating violation of her privacy that she was forced to overcome. But Ray J has long pushed a much darker narrative. He has repeatedly claimed that the tape's release was no accident. He alleges it was a brilliant Machiavellian business move orchestrated by none other than the family matriarch, Kris Jenner. According to Ray J, Kris was the mastermind who reviewed different versions of the tape and personally selected the one that would make her daughter a star. This accusation has been the poison at the heart of their relationship for years. The idea that the Kardashian dynasty was built on a lie, a carefully planned scandal that Kris Jenner engineered from behind the scenes. After the tape launched Kim into a new stratosphere of fame, Ray J seemed to find a new role, the scorned ex who refused to be forgotten. In 2013, just as Kim's relationship with Kanye West was becoming a global phenomenon, Ray J dropped the provocative song I Hit It First. The lyrics were a thinly veiled jab at Kim and Kanye, a desperate attempt to remind the world of his place in her history. The music video even featured a Kim Kardashian lookalike. The song was a commercial success, but a critical failure, cementing his reputation as someone who couldn't move on, forever defined by the woman he once dated. This established a clear pattern of behavior. Whenever Kim reached a new peak of success, Ray J seemed to reappear. Ready to stir up the past for a quick headline, the tension continued to simmer for years, occasionally boiling over in public spats. In 2018, rumors surfaced that Ray J had been boasting about intimate details of his past with Kim during a night out in London. Kim, who had remained silent for years, finally snapped. She took to social media and called him a pathological liar, a rare and direct public condemnation. Ray J quickly denied the rumors, but the damage was done. It was a clear sign that Kim's patience had worn thin. She was no longer the unknown girl from the tape. She was a global icon, and she was tired of Ray J dragging her back into the mud. This moment was a crack in the dam, foreshadowing the flood that was to come. Now, with this lawsuit, the Kardashians are arguing that Ray J's lies have crossed from petty insults into dangerous territory. In the digital age, an accusation of a federal RICO investigation, no matter how baseless, can have devastating real-world consequences. It can jeopardize brand partnerships, fuel conspiracy theories, and tarnish a reputation that has been meticulously crafted over decades. The lawsuit argues that Ray J's comments were not just words, but a direct attack on their livelihood, a reckless attempt to dismantle the empire they had built. In a world where public perception is everything, the mere suggestion of such a scandal can be as damaging as the scandal itself. True to form, Ray J has shown no signs of backing down. Responding to the news of the lawsuit, he posted a defiant message on his Instagram story. "I'm not about to be silenced." He is positioning himself as a truth teller, a whistleblower fighting against a powerful system that wants to bury him. He is doubling down on his narrative that he is the victim, the one who was used and cast aside, and that he is finally ready to expose the real story behind the Kardashian myth. This sets the stage for a dramatic courtroom showdown, a he said, she said battle that will force both sides to confront the ghosts of their shared past. What happens next could be the most revealing chapter yet. A defamation lawsuit opens the door to the discovery process, where lawyers can demand emails, texts, and sworn testimony under oath. Will Ray J be forced to provide proof of his claims, or will his house of cards collapse under legal scrutiny? Will Kim and Kris be forced to testify about the origins of the tape, reopening a wound they have tried so hard to close? This lawsuit could become a Pandora's box, unleashing secrets and private conversations that have been buried for years, all for the public to see. So, as the lawyers sharpen their knives and the battle lines are drawn, one question looms over it all: what is the end game? Is this the final bloody chapter in a 2-decade war, a decisive battle that will finally silence one side for good? Or is it just the beginning of something far messier, a legal quagmire that will drag both Ray J and the Kardashians through their darkest moments all over again? One thing is certain, the world is watching, and the fallout from this epic confrontation will be remembered for years to come.